lyric, thinking an artist said one thing when they actually said another? Well, I know I have, but I think mishearings are becoming. As you can see, I've tried to make our channel look similar without being a direct copy. For example, Lyrical Lemonade pride themselves on being 100% real, whereas Musical Milkshake is more like 70%. I've also tried to make our channel description look as legitimate as deviate from. Even Ken Carson on reviews, which just is what I thought he said from artists such as Drake, Travis Scott, and 21 Savage. I then created campaigns for both the Ken Carson and Travis Scott videos, with ads that look like this, hoping that people would click through and watch. On a budget of $2 a day, the Ken Carson ad received 470 views in the first 24 hours, with the Travis Scott ad on the same budget gaining 359 views in
Cosculluela le frenó a Luan Laele en España. Estos artistas, los cuales todos sabemos que se la tienen jurada el uno al otro, vemos que Cosculluela, el Prince, como se hace llamar, le frenó a Luan Laele en España y esto causó revuelo en redes sociales, ya que
this is like the aftermath after assembling an actual IKEA bed. It feels pretty good, but sleeping on them overnight, whoo-wee, that's unheard of in the acupuncture mat community. Is there even one?
This is like significantly more sharper than this one. You see, like that's just like that's nothing.
That is that's crazy. Gotta get used to it somehow. That's rough. What if I jump on it?
I'm going to show you a bunch of hidden features of the Cybertruck that nobody's talking about. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to go that far. So my car's in the shop, not because of something I did. Oh no! I wrecked it. And while they're fixing it, they gave me the Cybertruck. But first, there's two things I need to know. Is that window bulletproof? We're gonna test it with a bowling ball. Ready? It's actually cake, so the window did fine. Okay, that's terrifying. Let's do the thick part. Here we go. Ah, it didn't do it. Pretty good. Anyway, let's get into the hidden features. The cool thing about this car is it has a mode. If you don't have any friends, it'll play games with you. And in this case, it'll play baseball. Oh. Basically, it uses this fatty windshield as it wipes across, and it'll apparently play baseball. I've never tested it. That's what we're doing this video for. Okay, so we're gonna go to the toy box, and then here it is. You can see baseball. Play with me. And I think we're off. Cool. Hey, batter. Here we go. Oh, shoot. So I guess it's not, we're just gonna cut and go to the next view. A lot of people gave this truck flack for not having much space in the back, but there's actually more than meets the eye here. If you come in here, follow me. Oh. So there's a lot of space back here, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it. I decided to put my gaming setup here with my live stream area, as well as some snacks, so I could basically live down here for a long time if I wanted to. Anyways, let's head back out. Now, another spacious part of the car is the frunk. You can see it's got tons of room, very spacious for me as a filmmaker. It's great. I put all my cameras and tripod, and actually we gotta unload this. Do you mind doing that? I like to, keep all my film gear here, and yeah, pretty chill. Oh, yeah, nice. All right. Oh, I don't think it's supposed to, you gotta do it on the app. Nice. Oh, Hey, it stopped for the green screen, but not the carrots. That's crazy. So a lot of people, when they first got this car, were upset that this rear view mirror couldn't actually see when the back cage is up, which kind of makes it pointless. But this isn't even a rear view mirror. This is simply a really cool accessory. In fact, I would argue very stylish. Plus, there are so many outside cameras giving you a full perspective of what's all around you. The car can even detect the gray guys, which is really accurate because there is a real gray guy out there just walking around. Now, I want to show you another thing. When we're in reverse, it's got a lot of great safety features. Let me show you this. Later in this video, I'm going to show you some full self-driving stuff, but for now, I want to show you the features that are really cool with this. Oh! Shoot. Ruined that safety feature. Hopefully that's covered under the warranty. The navigation in a Tesla is actually really superior to other cars. If you want to go to In-N-Out, for example, we just hit In-N-Out. You can just straight up grab the item from the place. So that's pretty awesome if you ask me. And this is why it's worth upgrading to the $12,000 full self-driving, so you can eat in the car. I stole my sweater. It's crazy. It's even making lane changes for me. I'm a little scared. There's a big turn, big turn, big turn. I've never been in those like Waymo self-driving cars, but I imagine this is what it feels like. This turn, oh, we are on the other lane. How fun. Anyways, let's get on to the next review. Whoa, what's the bicyclist doing? Oh, we totally got cut off by a bicyclist. Did you get that?
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. Is your car on fire? No. I actually use my drive times to grill up some nice, juicy steaks. That is like the best feature in the front that nobody is talking about. Bon appetit. It is way overcooked. One of the cool features of the car is it has dog mode. So if you click right here by your AC and you click up to dog mode, then it keeps your pups nice and cool. Thanks to the car's compact, minimalist design, it makes it easy to do features like giving it a car wash. Just dunk in the soap, put it back. Shoot. So if you have an electric vehicle like a Cybertruck, you're gonna come to one of these superchargers. And if I want to charge it from 10% all the way to 100, it'd take about 45 minutes. But there's a hack that I'm surprised more Tesla owners aren't talking about, which is way more convenient. Most people don't realize the Cybertruck also takes AA batteries. It does take a lot of them. On a normal week where I'm commuting about 40 miles round trip, I'm running through 1,200 to maybe 2,000 AA batteries. It's a lot, but honestly, it's way more convenient than stopping at supercharger. One of my favorite features that I found out this car does is it turns the headlights into a projector. You can stream your favorite movies and TV shows in the comfort of your garage, because who wouldn't want to? One of the features that I think is pretty overlooked in this car is the app that it comes with. And if you open it up, it gives you a lot of options to change the skin of the car. And so you've got these cool colors, but also if you go down here, it's actually got invisibility, or a version of it. I mean, you get it. It basically is taking all the camera data from around the car and projecting that on to these LED panels that are baked into the metal or something. I don't know. Anyway, I think the invisibility feature is so cool on this car, but who are we kidding? This is really just some fancy editing. We covered the Cybertruck in green screen. On a serious note, if you don't want to be recognized in a Cybertruck, you can use this other feature of cloaking. So if you just pull from the top, people don't know this, but it gets you a different skin of the car altogether. So that's my review of the Cybertruck. So far, I really love it. And you know what? I hope you enjoyed seeing those magical features.
It's the largest man-made structure in the world, built entirely out of Lego bricks! Now, you might be wondering, is such a structure actually possible? It's a question I had in my mind the first time I saw the Lego store outside of Disneyland. I knew Legos were strong, but I couldn't believe these giant structures were standing on the strength of little plastic bricks. As I stared into Lego Hulk's eyes, I wondered, what is truly possible? But it turns out the Hulk wasn't just made of Lego. He was also made of lies.
Are these large models glued? You're sitting on the motorcycle.
Yes, they are glued. They are glued. They are glued. We make sure they're glued really well so you can't pull any of this apart. I've learned that large Lego structures, like the ones you find at Legoland, use reinforcements like glue and internal steel rods in order to stay erect. And while technically impressive, these are not the freestanding Lego structures I believed them to be. The Lego brick makes a promise. If you can imagine it, you can build it. But from what I've seen, no one has put their faith into that promise. So my question is, what is the limit of the Lego system? What if we used only Lego bricks to build a giant megastructure? How long would it take? How much would it cost? What heights could we reach? And what destruction would we see if we failed? Whoa! I think I used some Mega Blocks. These are the two original Lego bricks. They were included in the first set released by Lego in 1949. At the time, however, they were called automatic binding bricks. They were mostly the same as the modern Lego we know and love, except for one critical factor. They were missing these internal tubes. It wasn't until 1958 that the stud and tube principle was patented.
Lego, the sensation of Europe, build hotels, skyscrapers, and more.
This innovation offered far more structural integrity and completely changed how you can stack and combine these bricks. In fact, if you have 6 2x4 Lego bricks, there are apparently 915,103,765 different ways to combine them. I found 6. But one of the first ways that any kid will try to build Lego is simply one over the other, stacking them up as high as they can.
This is my guess. I'd honestly be surprised if we even make it this high. This is not making it north of the nip. I'm telling you right now.
Oh!
It's pretty short.
No. You're just too high. Come down here and say that to me.
Can I put one on?
Dude, I swear, I need you to lock in, okay? Please don't ruin this for me. Yes!
You want to place a brick? Celebrity shot? You want to do a brick?
Matt, you're up. I want you to get our tower a little bit higher, huh? We're already at the limits of what is humanly possible.
Is it all the...
I can keep stacking this thing all day long.
We're at like sternum. We're at like
Whoa!
sternum.
It is north of the belly button. It's north of belly button.
Belly button right there.
Don't get a close up of that.
Stack it up. Stacks on stacks on stacks.
Whoa!
The Brick Khalifa, baby.
Look at that. That's direct areola contact.
Areola. Hey guys, how about this?
Is this the tallest vertical stack ever built, you think? I think we can go a little higher.
Definitely. Let's see if we can get a couple more on there.
This thing.
Support the shaft. Thank you.
Oh! One more.
This is the killer.
Matt has the calmest hands, okay? He's got this, I believe.
What's so Didn't even get to finish this song.
So clearly a single stack of Lego does not have that much structural integrity. But you know what is stable? A square. Space. Today's sponsor. You see, building a website is just like building with Lego. You just need the right set of building blocks. And with Squarespace's flexible website templates, that's never been easier. It's like the ultimate Lego starter set. You get a stunning, professionally designed foundation that looks great right out of the box. But you have complete freedom to make it your own. You can change the colors, move entire sections, and add new features with just a few clicks. Ow, that actually hurt. Then there's Squarespace's design intelligence. By asking a few simple questions about what you you want to achieve, it helps generate beautiful design options, color patterns, and font pairings that are tailored specifically for you. And once you've built your amazing creation, you'll want to share it with the world, right? Squarespace's integrated online stores make it super simple. You can showcase your products, manage inventory, and process payments all from one central dashboard. So if you're ready to move from dreaming to building, Squarespace is waiting, my friend. Head to squarespace.com/corridorcrew to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Now, let's get back to building our giant stack of Legos. For now, let's ignore all the constraints of physics. How high could we stack all the Lego in the world? Well, in 2008, Lego estimated over 400 billion bricks existed on Earth. And that was almost 20 years ago. Since then, they've radically increased production to the point where today, there could be somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 trillion Lego in existence. That's 125 Lego bricks per human on Earth. Can you actually pick those up? And if you were to stack those Lego vertically, you could reach the moon 25 times. Yeah, they're up there. But as we discovered, a vertical stack of Lego doesn't have that much structural integrity at all. Oh, shoot! But link just a few together, and your structure gets much more sturdy. I mean, shoot. I mean, come on. You kidding me? Oh, frick. This principle has already allowed humanity to build impressive Lego structures. The current Guinness World Record holder for tallest structure built with interlocking plastic bricks was constructed in Milan in 2015. It stood at 114 feet 11 inches or 35 meters high and used an estimated 550,000 bricks. But that's not even 1 million bricks, let alone 1 billion or 1 trillion. We could dream of something far bigger. Imagine, we've been able to unite the entire human race towards the singular goal of building the tallest possible megastructure using these guys. Well, we already have some massive structures on Earth. We can start by working backwards. If I know the dimensions of a Lego brick, I can figure out the volume of, say, the Eiffel Tower and just divide that by the standard 2x4 Lego. If we built a solid stack of Lego in the mold of the Eiffel Tower, that would be over 41 billion Lego bricks. Right now, a 2x4 Lego brick is listed on the Lego store as being 18 cents, meaning that just the material cost of this structure would be over $7 billion. But we have plenty of Lego bricks left, so how about the Empire State Building? Well, that's a radical increase. 167 billion bricks, costing a whopping $30 billion. Adjusted for inflation, that's 50 times more than the original cost. And that is just to buy the bricks. But we have even more Lego, enough to build the largest man-made structure on Earth, the Burj Khalifa. It would take 261 billion bricks to reach the 829-meter peak of the Burj, costing almost $50 billion. Despite being more than double the height of the Empire State Building, it's not double the Lego. That's because the Burj Khalifa uses a tapered design. So with this structure and the large amount of Lego we have remaining, the question remains, can we build even taller?
Jordan! The physics! Dude, at this scale, you have to take into account the physics!
Oh, not again!
So, I hear you're trying to build a Lego tower.
That's the goal. I'm trying to figure out how high we can actually build with 1 trillion Lego.
1 trillion?
Yeah, there's 1 trillion Lego in the world.
Is it Lego or Legos?
It's Lego. Lego is the plural.
Your goal is to simply find out how tall is the tallest possible tower made out of Legos.
Yes.
So the first thing to consider is the fact that regardless of outside variables and stability and stuff like that, there is a theoretical limit to how many bricks you can have on top of one another, because the more bricks you have, the more weight there is. And at a certain point, these bottom bricks are going to get crushed under their own weight.
These are quite hollow, actually, all things considered.
The contact surface area is literally just the outline of the bottom of a brick here. The stuff in the middle is not actually touching anything of the rest of the bricks. So if the bottom pieces start crushing, that's going to inherently make the tower unstable.
Do we know how much
pressure or weight a single Lego brick can take?
Well, the answer to that is simple. You would put this under a hydraulic press and press it down, and once it actually starts crushing at that force, that's how much force would be required to crush this.
I'm sure someone's done this already.
Yes, actually, they have.
I love humans.
So someone with a hydraulic press actually did do this experiment, and it was able to get up in over 4,000 newtons of force before buckling. You basically divide that by 10 to convert back to kilograms. Technically, you divide by 9.81.
Okay, I was going to call you out on that, so thank you for getting in front of it, because that pisses me off. Sorry.
So essentially what they were able to figure out is that you can take 375,000 bricks, stacked up before the bottom one fails and swishes.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. That's north of a mile.
2.25 miles. We're talking a tower that is over 2 miles tall, which is way taller than any other building in the world by like a huge factor. It really just comes down to the buckling factor, and all the problems that you're facing at this small scale, you'll be facing at a much larger scale as well.
We built a pretty impressive stack of individual bricks.
I would call it semi-impressive.
Honestly, I'd take that.
What happened to your tower was that it buckled. The sideways forces on it were enough that it was able to just like literally break a little bit, and then it was a domino effect from there. The only thing literally holding them together is just the squeeze force of the little circles on top inside the gaps on the bottom. So there's not actually that much force holding them together. That's by design, so you can take them apart. If you're trying to take two pieces like this, you don't have that much torque to be able to pull it apart. But when you have a tall piece like this, the piece itself acts like a lever. You have a lot more leverage to bend and break it.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
So that's why when you get a really tall piece like this, it gets easier and easier to break. And that's just going to continue getting easier the taller it gets.
So how would you account for that?
It's all about that aspect ratio. If you want it to be taller, you have to also make it wider. People building tall towers, they try to keep an aspect ratio around 5:1, if not 10:1.
Oh, wow.
Meaning it's 10 times taller than it is wide.
Okay.
If you start going above that, it can start buckling. Okay, let's say you could magically take all the Legos in the world, right? And you make something that is 3.5 kilometers tall by 350 meters wide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many bricks that would be, but in theory, that could work.
If we maintain our 10:1 aspect ratio and we have enough bricks, we have a chance.
In theory, that could work. In theory, that could work. Are there enough bricks in the world to even do that?
What? No. We're at a Lego, but we're only 36 meters high. That's like a measly 10-story building. That's nothing. But we don't have enough of these dang plastic bricks. Plastic. Since 1963, Lego bricks have been manufactured from ABS plastic, which is also used for many other toys, protective gear, and electronic housings. ABS is a thermoplastic, meaning you can melt and remold it. So, what if we took all the ABS plastic in the world and converted it into Lego? Well, there's an estimated 359 megatons of ABS plastic on Earth, which should take only 2,000 years to run through the old Lego pipeline, leaving us with 100 trillion Lego. Oh, gosh, okay. Oh, just one more and then I'm done.
Here's the thing.
No.
You can make it over 2 miles tall before the bottom one squishes, but you're gonna have a dozen, if not hundreds of other factors bring it down before this.
No, Ren, no, not now.
Right now, we're just considering the strength of the bricks and not the strength of the foundation underneath the bricks, or the wind and the forces hitting the side of the building, forcing it out of alignment.
No.
See, the real Achilles heel here is the Lego brick itself. You can only manufacture these to be so accurate.
No, it's just one brick. Just let me put it down.
When you start making it super, super long, those imperfections compound. They add up.
I don't know how much more this can take. Stop.
This is a quote from the actual Lego engineers. A 3.5 kilometer tower would have to be built so straight that it was no more than 2 millimeters off center at the midway point. A 3.5 kilometer tall tower cannot have a center of gravity that sways more than 2 millimeters from the center. There isn't a chance you could do it in reality. Long before the brick fails, the tower would fail as a structure itself by buckling. That's what I'm saying. Building tall buildings is a very, very difficult science. And you're talking about doing something 4 times longer with toys.
I hate you!
So you're saying it's impossible?
Of course. I'm saying it's impossible. Duh.
It's impossible. It's just not enough structural integrity. Which sucks, because I have this mountain of Lego. Maybe I've had it wrong this whole time. Skyscrapers are feats of modern engineering, but we need something more ancient, more elemental. We need something that stood the test of time. The ancient pyramids we find around the world have stood for thousands of years, surviving storms, earthquakes, and every other environmental variable we're worried about. It is the sturdiest structure ever devised by man. By creating a massive base, we spread the weight outward and create a low center of gravity, keeping the center stable. And in order to build a proper pyramid, we'll have to build our first layer at almost 4 square miles. The first layer alone is 141 billion bricks. Oh, wow. Oh, come on! At 6 meters, we've already depleted all 100 trillion Lego. That's only twice the height of a regulation basketball hoop. I should have known. Known that plastic has a precursor. You see, ABS plastic is derived from petroleum, crude oil, the lifeblood of our civilization. Everything that we use it for, gasoline, diesel, propane, fertilizer, forget all of it. If we harvest every last drop of the planet's remaining oil, every well, every reserve, every strategic barrel hidden in a desert bunker, and turn it all into ABS plastic, I estimate we'll have just enough to make all the Lego bricks we need. Not billions, not trillions, quadrillions. 17 quadrillion bricks, to be precise. This bounty of bricks would only take the Lego company 342,000 years to produce, costing about 40 times the global GDP, leaving us with the tallest possible Lego structure. To call it a pyramid would be a disservice. It's Lego Mountain, 4 times taller than the Burj Khalifa and just shy of the peak of Mount Fuji. It's our greatest creation. It's perfect. If only anyone were around to see it! They only saw the Lego's flaws, their imperfections. But this little brick, it never lingered on our shortcomings. It only ever saw the best in us. It saw us for our true potential, our capacity to build wonders. All it took was a little faith. Okay. So I just climb down. I just. If you like this video, I ask an equally important question in the one right up there. Just click that box if you want to know how fast you gotta go to jump the Grand Canyon. I figured it out, but it hurt. More than this, if you can believe it. If you don't want to watch it, then, I don't know, call for help or something. Just make yourself useful.
You've seen the Universal logo before. Every time I'm in a theater and I'm waiting for the movie to start and I see those big giant metal letters appearing over the earth, I can't help but feel that there's... You've seen the Universal logo before. Every time I'm in a theater and I'm waiting for the movie to start and I see those big giant metal letters appearing...
This is me on top of a speeding train, and this is me in a hot air balloon to answer some of the most debated science questions on the internet. For example, my hot air balloon... This is me on top...
Today I'm busting the craziest legal myths, like smashing a car window to save a dog, escaping prison and not being charged for it, and legally burying someone in your own backyard. But before we get to the weirdest laws of all, we're starting with the most common myths, right here at the police station.
Just tell us it was you. We found your fingerprint at the scene.
One of the most common legal myths people believe is that police can't lie, but they can, and they do.
Your buddy in the other room already talked.
Police are trained to lie during interrogations to get you talking. They'll say your friend confessed, they have your fingerprints, or things will go easier if you just talk. Myth number 2, asking for a lawyer makes you look guilty. It doesn't. Talking without one, that's what actually gets people in trouble.
Unless I'm under arrest, I'd like to leave, or I want a lawyer.
All right. Say what you want. Nobody in the room.
Even if the police leave the room, always remember, the recording never stops. They're also not required to tell you you're being recorded. Myth 6, if you're in an interrogation room, you have to stay. Unless you're arrested or detained, you're free to leave. Just ask, am I free to go? If they say yes, get up and walk out. But there are way more legal myths I have to show you, like whether you can legally turn around at a DUI checkpoint, if you're allowed to smash a car window to save a dog, and whether flipping off a cop can get you arrested. A lot of people believe that if you're given a speeding ticket, you have to pay it no matter what. But if the police officer makes a serious mistake on it, like the wrong date, plate number, or location, or the officer doesn't show up in court, you can sometimes get the ticket dismissed. Next is where people really mess up. They believe that signing a ticket is an admission of guilt, but really it just means you agree to show up in court. In some states, refusing to sign a ticket could get you arrested.
Can I see your license and registration?
This is another big myth. A lot of people believe that when a police officer asks for your ID, you don't have to show it. But that's only true in certain situations.
Give me your ID. Come on.
If you're walking and the officer doesn't have reasonable suspicion you've committed a crime, then you usually do not have to show ID. But if you're driving your car and get pulled over, every state requires you to show your license.
What's in the trunk? Can I search your car?
Police generally can't search your car without your permission, a warrant, or probable cause, like smelling alcohol. I don't consent to a search of my car.
All right, you got me. Here you go. Have a nice day.
Oh, there's a DUI checkpoint up ahead. It's a place where police officers check to see if drivers are under the influence. I've seen people argue that police have to post the exact location of DUI checkpoints online. That's not always true. In states like California, they're supposed to give advance notice about checkpoints, but it's not required. And in states like Iowa, DUI checkpoints are banned entirely. What most people don't realize, you can legally turn around before a checkpoint, as long as you follow traffic laws. One of the most common myths that I see online is that it's illegal to flash your headlights to warn other drivers about the police. But it's often legal. Courts treat it as protected speech under the First Amendment. But certain states have restrictions on when and how you can flash your headlights, so check your local laws. But one of the wildest things people don't realize is that in a real emergency, a police officer can legally take your car.
Okay.
It's rare, but if they're chasing a possible suspect or in an emergency, there's no law stopping them. Next, most people know you legally have to stop at a stop sign. But what about if the stop sign is on private property? Well, unlike public stop signs, there usually isn't a law that forces you to stop. Though not stopping could lead to a crash, which means you could be sued. Another myth, that flipping off a cop will get you arrested. It's actually protected under the First Amendment. But just because it's legal doesn't mean it's a good idea, and it can lead to a lot more trouble. If you're rescuing a dog trapped in a hot car, in some states you can break the window. It's called a Good Samaritan or hot car rescue law. But you should always check your state laws, confirm the doors are locked, call emergency services, and make sure the animal's in real danger.
He's in real danger.
We saved him. Nice job. But now I'm going to show you what your school can and can't legally do.
Hey, you! Right now, give me that bag. Wait, no, don't you need a warrant for that?
Hold on! Huh? Most teachers think they can just search your bag, but the truth is they can't. Teachers need reasonable suspicion you're breaking a law or school rule.
I'm going through your bag. No.
They can't just demand to look through your stuff.
Well, Fine, but you're staying after class. Mike, is that even legal?
Teachers can't physically block students from leaving except in rare emergency situations. That could be false imprisonment.
Fine.
But you should know if you do leave, you could get worse punishments, like suspension.
All right, thanks, Mike.
I tried. A lot of people don't realize that schools can punish you for stuff you post online, even if it's posted outside of school, but only if it causes a big disruption at school or targets a student or teacher. That's why you should always think twice before posting online. Oh, and while schools can't randomly drug test the entire student body, they can randomly drug test you if you participate in school-sponsored extracurricular activities like chess club, debate, or sports. And while we're on the topic of schools, most people assume spanking is outlawed, but some states still allow it. I know it's weird. This next set of laws, they control what you can do in and around your own home. Whoa, this house has booby traps. Building traps that could hurt someone is illegal. Even if the intention is to prevent break-ins, the law doesn't allow traps that could hurt someone, just to defend property. What's even crazier is that if someone trespasses on private property and gets injured, like falling into an uncovered hole that the owner knew about, the trespasser can sue the owner. Most people think they're informed, but what they're really seeing is outrage, fear, and whatever gets clicks. That's why I partnered with Ground News. It's a website and app built by a former NASA engineer that pulls every angle, left, right, center. You see clear charts showing bias, outlet ownership, and credibility. So you can see how the narrative shifts before forming an opinion. For example, check out this story on the CBO saying Trump's tax bill will add $2.4 trillion to deficit and leave 11 million uninsured over a decade. 61 sources covered it, 35% left-leaning, 42% center, and 23% right. That's fairly balanced, but I bet the headlines spin it in different ways, and that framing can change your takeaway. With Ground News headline analysis, you see the differences in real time. Watch this. One left-leaning outlet says billionaire tax cuts and nearly 11 million Americans will lose health care, while a right-leaning outlet gives you a trillion reasons to ignore those CBO projections. Same story, different spin. Which brings me here to the sidewalk. Most people assume the sidewalk in front of their house belongs to them, but in most places, it's actually public property and owned by the city. However, even though you don't own the sidewalk, local laws may still make you responsible for keeping it safe, like shoveling snow and clearing ice. I also love their blind spot feed. It shows stories one side barely covers. Like this article on Harvard suing over frozen research grants. Right-leaning outlets ran it, left-leaning barely mentioned it. That gap matters if you want the full picture. Next, some areas require a permit for garage sales because doing too many can make it look like you're running an unlicensed business. Right now, you can get unlimited access to global news coverage with the Ground News Vantage plan. I'm giving you 40% off, so $5 a month, but only through my link. Go to my link, ground.news/lawbymike in the description or pinned comment, or scan the QR code to subscribe. Don't miss out. In some places, kids need a permit to sell things like lemonade, cookies, or crafts. Some cities have become more relaxed about this, but in others, those stands can still get shut down.
Aw, man.
But don't worry, I already got you a permit.
Yay!
Now let's go inside. A lot of people think their landlords always need permission to enter their home. But in an emergency like a fire or flood, the landlord can legally come in, even without asking. Next is one of my favorites. Police can legally enter your home without a warrant if they're chasing a suspect. It's called hot pursuit. And if they see anything illegal while they're inside, they can arrest you for it, even though you had nothing to do with the chase. I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers building secret gaming rooms or hideouts in their homes. And underneath those videos, there are always comments saying it's illegal or you need a permit. But in most states, there's no law against making a secret room. As long as you're not making big structural changes, if you're just turning an existing space into a hidden room and putting a bookshelf over the door, that's usually legal. Now let's go to the backyard. One of the weirdest legal myths is that you can't bury a loved one in your own backyard. But in some states, it's allowed, as long as you follow zoning laws, file the right paperwork, and meet local health codes.
Whew, this is hard work.
Just don't do it without telling your neighbors, unless you want rumors starting. And while we're in the backyard, another legal myth, that you can burn your trash whenever you want. Not true. Most cities ban open burning unless you have a permit. But there's one more housing law I have to talk about, and it's one of the most viral myths out there. It's called squatting. It's when someone enters and stays in a home without permission. A lot of people think the law protects squatters immediately, but it doesn't. To actually take over a property, squatters need to qualify under something called adverse possession.
Can you keep it down?
And to do that, they usually have to meet a strict list of legal requirements. Now I'm going to show you the 14 weirdest legal myths of all. First up, the citizen's arrest. A lot of people think they can say, I'm arresting you anytime someone does something wrong. But most states have strict rules. You usually have to witness a serious crime and use reasonable force. If you mess it up, you could get charged with assault, false imprisonment, or both. Did you know escaping prison isn't illegal in some countries? Places like Germany and Mexico see the urge for freedom as part of human nature. So the act of escaping prison isn't a crime, but if you assault a guard or steal a car on the way out, that's very illegal. And those acts can get you extra charges. One of the craziest myths is that people believe you only get one phone call when you get arrested. Most states allow a reasonable number of calls, which means multiple. Some jails will even let you use your own phone. One of the weirdest myths that keeps getting reposted is that you have to be in a car to use a fast food drive-thru. But that's not actually a law. You can walk through. What most people don't realize is that businesses have the right to refuse service. So if you try, they can still turn you away. What's even weirder is that in over 20 US states, you can legally take home and eat roadkill. Some even let you claim it through an app. Montana, Alaska, and West Virginia are especially chill about it, as long as you don't cause the accident yourself. Myth 42, you can't legally own a tank. Well, if it's demilitarized, it's legal. If the cannon works, you need to get an ATF permit. Owning a tank is expensive, but not illegal. Oh, and you don't legally have to report a crime just because you saw it. There's no general legal duty to call the police just because you witnessed a crime. A few states require it, but only for serious felonies, and even then, it's rarely enforced. But if you hide a suspect, destroy evidence, or help someone escape, that's accessory after the fact, which is a crime. Many think surgeons must sleep a certain amount of hours before they operate. Surprisingly, this is false. There's actually no law that forces them to rest. Hospitals might have rules or shift limits, but legally, a surgeon can operate with zero sleep. If they mess up, it's usually a lawsuit, not a crime. You'll be surprised to learn that dumpster diving is technically legal. Once trash hits the curb, it's considered abandoned, no privacy rights. But if you step onto private property to get it, or your city bans it outright, you can still get fined or arrested. Myth number 47, it's illegal to marry your step-sibling. Actually, it's totally legal. Since there's no biological connection, incest laws don't apply. Might raise eyebrows, but doesn't raise a legal issue. Number 48, opening up someone else's mail is always illegal. If you open it up intentionally, yeah, that's a crime. But accidentally opening it isn't. Think you can sit anywhere on a public sidewalk? Not always. Dozens of cities have sit-lie ordinances that ban sitting, lying down, or even placing your stuff on sidewalks during certain hours. They're controversial, but still enforced. And finally, number 50. If you find money on the ground, whether it's $100 or $1 million, most people believe it's finders keepers. But finders keepers isn't a real legal rule. If you find something valuable and don't try to return it, you could be charged with theft. Most states require turning it into police or making a real effort to find the owner.
Hey, Mike, I think you got this.
Because you subscribe, you can have it.
What? Oh my God.
What if your favorite YouTubers were charged for their crimes? From a YouTuber speeding in a school zone to another getting banned from half the world. I'm breaking down their craziest moments and the legal consequences, starting with Mr. Beast. In December 2022, Mr. Beast uploaded a video that skyrocketed to over 1.4 billion views. In it, he challenges someone.
If I gave you $300, would you fly to Paris and bring me back a baguette?
Flight included?
Yes.
He's thinking about it. Oh, he stuck him in the economy? Come on, Mr. Beast.
I can't believe she's actually getting 12 baguettes right now.
I hope Mr. Beast is hungry.
Oh, there it is. But here's the issue. That last part, it's illegal. Right here, this shot of the Eiffel Tower lit up at night is where things get tricky.
How is that illegal?
Well, France has a unique copyright law. Most countries allow you to film buildings that are visible from public spaces, a concept called freedom of panorama. France does not. For some monuments, you have to wait until their copyright protection ends, which is 70 years after the creator's death. The Eiffel Tower's copyright actually expired in 1993, but the lights they added in 1985 are still protected. What does that mean? Well, as a tourist, taking a photo for personal use is totally fine. But if you're a YouTuber like Mr. Beast, using footage of the lights to make money through views on the video violates French copyright law. So technically, Mr. Beast broke the law. And if the company that operates the Eiffel Tower decided to enforce it, he could face fines up to 300,000 euros and up to 3 years in prison.
Do you think they'll actually go after him?
I mean, probably not, as they don't seem overly concerned with enforcing the rule. And even if they did, he likely wouldn't face any fines and would instead just receive a cease and desist letter asking him to take the video down. However, the same cannot be said for some of the YouTubers I'll be covering later in this video who committed much more serious crimes, such as a YouTuber who physically assaulted someone and another who put his cameraman and many others in serious danger. But first, I want to talk about a YouTuber who may have gotten himself banned from half the world. It's the second half of 2024. An insanely popular YouTuber, IShowSpeed, is traveling the globe on a chaotic world tour. From crashing a tuk-tuk in Thailand, to sparring in Greek street boxing matches, and even learning the hard way why you shouldn't enter the personal space of a dog in South Korea. Oh man. But the trouble doesn't start in any of these countries. Instead, it begins in a country many people overlook, New Zealand. Most tourist visas allow visits for up to 3 months, but they don't allow working or earning money. To work, you need a special work visa designed for traditional jobs, like being a lawyer or teacher. What lawmakers didn't expect back when these laws were created was that someone like IShowSpeed could arrive and work anywhere as long as they had their computer, phone, and an internet connection. New Zealand's government is now investigating whether Speed violated immigration law. If they determine he did, there are 2 potential consequences. First, he could owe taxes on the money he earned while streaming there, as New Zealand and most other countries follow the 183-day rule. This rule states that taxes are only owed on income that you earn in a country if you have lived there for more than 183 days within a year. But seeing as Speed wasn't in New Zealand for 183 days, the more likely consequence, if he's found violating immigration law, is a fine up to $3,000 and a complete ban from re-entering the country. But that's not the biggest problem. If one country rules against him, others could follow. So far, Speed has streamed in over 17 European countries and 6 in Asia, and he's planning a South American tour. All these places have similar visa laws, which means Speed could suddenly be banned from half the world. That's crazy. Next, let's talk about Jesse from Nelk. In 2017, he and his team came up with a prank to enter a Bass Pro Shop in Ontario, pretend to be a fisherman, and try hooking a monster catch in the store's giant fish tank.
Wait, he actually tried to cast a line into their fish tank?
Yep. I mean, I get the excitement, but if you want to catch big fish without getting kicked out of a store, just play Fishing Clash instead. No security guards, no angry employees, just world-class fishing spots like Florida's coast and the Kenai River, right from your phone. Now, as Jesse walked up to the front entrance with a fishing rod over his shoulder, an employee stopped him and immediately told him not to enter. But Jesse continued trying to go inside, claiming there was a lake in the store. He continued trying right up until another employee and even a security guard told him and his team to leave. His friends laughed, but the staff didn't.
He needs better friends.
I actually heard he left the Nelk group, kind of like how you dropped our group call after I beat you in Fishing Clash. Playing with friends, family, and 50 million other people in daily events and competitions is what I love about Fishing Clash. While most people would have gone straight home after being asked multiple times to leave, Jesse didn't. Instead, he and his team lingered in the parking lot, laughing about the situation with fans, prompting the security guard to tell him to leave again. This is a problem because under Canadian law, this parking lot is still considered private property. And if you refuse to leave private property after being told to do so, you're breaking the law by trespassing. Speaking of big, that's another reason I love playing Fishing Clash. I can upgrade my rod and equipment, collect rare lures, and aim to catch the biggest fish from over 100 different species. That's something my friend Joel here isn't so great at, right, Joel?
Oh, man.
Anyways, it gets worse for Jesse, as alongside trespassing, attempting to fish inside a store and pretending to fish in the parking lot, especially with a hook on the line, could be considered mischief if it disrupts business or puts other customers at risk. Oh, and for anyone wishing to join me in Fishing Clash, download the game using the link in the description below. Scan the QR code on the screen, or use the code LawByMike to claim a $20 value reward and a unique avatar for free.
So what's the fine for Jesse?
Well, Canada would likely consider this a summary offense, which means he could face up to a $5,000 fine and up to 6 months in prison. But given the circumstances, he'd likely just get slapped with a small fine. I think something like this happening would cause Jesse's fans to be pretty upset. However, I don't think this next YouTuber got quite the same support from his fans. Next is the biggest tech YouTuber in the world, Marques Brownlee, who posted crisp footage of the inside of his Lamborghini while driving until it reveals something else. He's speeding. The posted speed limit is 35 miles per hour, but Marques's dashboard clearly shows 96 miles per hour at one point, 61 miles over the limit. His team tried blurring the main speedometer, but forgot there were 2 other displays still in plain view. He even flies past a school crossing sign. Many of Marques's fans argued he committed a crime and should face consequences, and they'd be right. Under New Jersey law, the state where Marques lives, going 35 miles per hour over the speed limit is illegal, and there's a sliding scale for fines and points. But at 61 miles per hour over, he likely crossed into reckless driving territory. For a first reckless driving offense in New Jersey, penalties can include up to 60 days in jail, a fine up to $200, and a penalty on your driver's license. If it's not your first offense, jail time can extend up to 3 months, with fines up to $500. Marques quickly apologized on Twitter, owning up to his mistake. While some people were willing to move on, others were not so forgiving, unlike the next YouTuber, whose actions were met with surprising approval. In June 2024, fitness YouTuber Bradley Martin streamed with Stable Ronaldo at Bradley's Zoo Culture gym. Let's watch the clip. Oh man, that looked like it hurt. Yeah, he can definitely get in trouble for that. That is definitely battery. I remember when this happened. Some people online argued that Bradley overreacted, while others believed Ronaldo shouldn't have touched his hat, especially since Bradley is 3 times his size. But did Bradley commit a crime? Under California's right to defend personal property law, force is allowed if there's an immediate threat and the response is reasonable. However, since Ronaldo wasn't likely to destroy the hat, Bradley's reaction might be considered excessive. The police and courts take battery charges very seriously. If Bradley was charged, the burden would then fall on him to justify that the force he used was reasonable. Since Ronaldo wasn't armed, didn't pose any immediate threat to his property, and considering Bradley's massive size advantage, it's likely that he'd be found guilty of misdemeanor battery. In California, this carries a sentence of up to 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. Up next is Juan Gonzalez, a YouTuber who went viral for his prank video, cutting people's earphones, then giving them AirPods. In the video, Juan sneaks up on college students, snips their headphones without them noticing, and then offers a replacement, sometimes a similar pair, but often a pricier upgrade like AirPods Max. The video took off, sparking a trend. Creators like Young Mooch and Ben Asler jumped on board, posting dozens of similar videos that racked up millions, if not billions of views. For most students, losing cheap headphones in exchange for an expensive upgrade might seem like a win.
Thank you.
But legally, it's a different story. In Missouri, where Juan often films, intentionally damaging property worth under $750 is a Class B misdemeanor, punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. And that's not the only legal issue here. According to Missouri statutes, you can be charged with assault if you place someone in fear of imminent harm. Most of Juan's pranks don't cross that line until you see this clip, where he holds the scissors near someone's neck, then again here, and again. No one was physically hurt, but from the victim's perspective, it could feel like a serious threat. So Juan could be charged with 4th-degree assault, a Class A misdemeanor, carrying up to a year in jail and a $2,000 fine. As expected, these pranks have stirred up major backlash online, but the outrage these YouTubers face is nothing compared to the next creator. On December 4th, 2024, Haley Welch, better known as Hawk2a Girl, launched her Hawk crypto coin. Its market value skyrocketed to $491 million, but crashed 95% within 12 hours, dropping to $60 million. Why is this a problem? Crypto is risky, but investors are now suing Haley, leaving others with worthless tokens. If prosecutors prove Haley